Don't make fun of Montegraph. He'll sue you. Like
don't call faggot. Don't call him a retarded faggot.
So I fucking love that case so much. It's like, I don't love it because I have to pay for it, but I'm like, this case is the epitome of embarrassment. Like, this is a guy with a reputation for everything I've said. And he's like, how dare you say it? It's like, you fostered this.
But how can it? This is one of the things that
you've lost lawsuits over this.
How does he have the money to continue to do this?
I think his lawyer was stupid enough to take it on contingency.
And what, he just doesn't get paid when it fails?
Yeah.
Does this lawyer not have access to previous cases that his client has been through? That seems like a thing that's a possibility, depending on the state.
I think his lawyer doesn't like. I think Spectre reached out to his lawyer. I did not ask him to. I told him he was.
I think his lawyer's having sex with him.
I told Spectre, I'm like, you're a retard. Why would you do this? But Spectre did call his lawyer and ask him, he's like, why are you doing this case? And he said, I think that Nick represents the worst of the legal profession or something like that.
What?
And I was like, really? And he's like, why? Now, you might think it's because of my show.
Jackson?
You might think it's because of my show, right? Like, because I'm like, oh, let me tell you about the N-word and how
you're not here in a legal capacity.
But that's not why. It's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, I represented a party opposed to him in one case. I was like, oh, and he's like, and he showed up at my office one time. He was wearing khaki shorts and a polo. I have a heat allergy, right?
Yeah, I know.
I was diagnosed with my heat allergy several years ago. Let's see. I was 35 at the time. So I ran a marathon at 34, which would have been 1980 or 2015. 2016, I'd be diagnosed with my heat allergy. I'd start my YouTube channel in 2017. Okay. So 2016 or 2017, whenever I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
I don't remember what year I went to Schneider's office.
That's fine.
But I had to deliver. He was mad about discovery. He's like, they had some discovery requests. And my client was a very belligerent man. I like my client. He's hilarious, but he doesn't trust anyone. He's like, I don't want to comply. You have to comply. You have to do discovery. If you don't do discovery, you're going to get sanctioned, and then they'll force you to do the discovery anyway. But he didn't want to do it.
Can't go to trial without the emotions.
He didn't want to do discovery. I'm sitting there saying you have to do discovery on these things. These are reasonable requests, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, finally get the discovery from him, the answers to the interrogatories. And it was late. I'm not going to lie. It was late, but it wasn't because of me. It wasn't like I was withholding it. My client didn't want me to answer discovery. I'm like, you have to do this. It's a rule. You can't just ignore it. So he finally gives me the discovery, and I produce it to Schneider. It was like 2 days past the deadline or something. So I had to go in and get proof that I provided him the discovery. So I had an affidavit of delivery, right? So I an affidavit of service. I served the discovery answers upon Schneider, and I had him sign this affidavit saying, yeah, I received, because I wanted him to say he received these answers. Because if he went to the court like 4 days after that, it's like, oh, he hadn't preferred, like, what would I do?
Right.
Like, I have to prove that he's gotten these answers. Now, he may not like them or whatever. No, they were fine. They were all fine. And I would stop representation of this client not long after because of various personal differences. But that being said, like, I go in on a Friday to deliver this discovery. I'm wearing a shirt like this, a polo shirt, not as nice as this, slightly shittier, but still a polo shirt. And I'm wearing khaki shorts because I'm in.
Hang on, you're wearing that to court?
No.
Oh, okay.
I go from, now you have to understand this. My office is a pretext for not doing work. Because why would you do that? So on Fridays,
I want one of those.
On Fridays, my office, I have several friends who own businesses around town that I had met through various functions, and I would invite them over to my office. I would bring 3 to 5 bottles of different scotches, and I would set them all out on this fake fireplace, and I would say, let's go. Let's just drink whatever we want, however much you want. And we would have a couple drinks each, and we would talk politics, we would talk religion, we would talk law, we would talk whatever. And we just sit there and have this nice Friday conversation around lunchtime in the middle of the day with other business owners, because why not? Right? Like, no one wants to work on Friday. So that was our Friday. And so I would wear khaki shorts and a polo shirt because I'm not going to court. If I was going to court that morning, I would obviously wear a suit, but I'm not going to court. Just sitting in my office, and eventually a bunch of guys are going to hang out. We're going to be bros. Maybe they'll bring nachos or whatever, but I'm bringing scotch, and we're drinking and we're talking. We're having a good conversation for 2-3 hours away from our wives. And then they would go back to their offices. I'd close out mine. I'd go home. So that's what I'm doing. So in that context, I'm wearing khaki shorts, a polo shirt, and I drive to his office, which is on my way home. I say, I've got service for you. I just need you to sign this affidavit of service. Comes out, graciously signs it. No problem. Dates it. Everything's good. For my file, for his file, all great. And then I go home because it's Friday. Apparently, he tells Spectre, who calls him and asks him, like, why don't you like Nick? And he's like,
why is he talking? Never mind.
He's a bad representative of the profession. He did not dress professionally to deliver service.
Jesus
I'm like,
Christ,
motherfucker.
This is your client saying this.
It's not my client, the opposing counsel.
The opposing counsel. Okay.
I'm like,
what?
Brother, it's summertime. I'm wearing shorts and a polo shirt on a Friday that I'm not in court. Like, why are you mad? Why are you even mad? You don't have to care about this at all. You're not my client. I don't have a relationship with you. I'm giving you a service document. Apparently, according to Spectre's call, if I remember what he said, that is the thing that set him off. He said, I don't follow rules because I'm like 2 days late, but again, it's not me. And then I'm wearing khakis and a polo to deliver him the service that he asked for on a Friday. And he's mad about it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is what you're mad about?
This doesn't. Okay, so the chat might not know, but even if you're the prosecutor and defense attorney, they don't generally just hate each other like they do in movies and TV.
No, we don't care. Actually, we're very cordial. We're usually very cordial.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why this seems like such a stupid fucking thing, because you were delivering documents and you weren't, quote unquote, dressed for court. That's his issue.
It's literally like, it's like if your FedEx guy doesn't have tails on his suit.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe you. You're very unprofessional.
Where's your fucking bow tie?
Dude, I'm going to go home and I'm going to take a shit right after this.
Why aren't you dressed like a
You're lucky I'm not going to take a shit in your office and make it stink because I just ate a Qdoba. Dude, I've never attended even a remote hearing in less than a shirt, vest, and suit coat. A remote hearing in my home where I don't need to wear a suit coat at all.
Yeah.
Shirt, vest, suit coat, because and with a tie, of course, because that's
or like Hot Muffin Mommy wearing just regular street clothes going to Johnny Depp's place.
I'm not a chick. You can't pull that shit off. I'm a guy. You wear a shirt, a button down shirt all the way, long sleeve, start shirt. You wear a vest, and then you wear a fucking suit coat. And the reason you do is because that's what you do when you go to court. But when you're not in court, why on earth would you do that?
Exactly. Well, I mean, unless you're
that's apparently his problem.